Sadly, when injuries happen, sometimes it feels like there's the end of training for a period of time until the injury is healed. It doesn't always have to be the case. If you have an injury that prevents you from training an entire area of your body, you can look at doing a specialisation phase. So, what do I mean by that? If, for example, you have a knee injury, you can still train the upper body. If that situation occurs, what you can do, reduce any lower body training to exercises that don't flare up the issue, if that's even practical, and focus all your time on the other muscle groups. Sadly, it does mean that at best, the area that's injured might just be going to maintenance phase. However, it doesn't mean training has to stop, it just means you have to be smarter about the way you train. For example, if your knee's playing up, you can put a lot of additional focus into the upper body, and then when that joint comes right, you start reducing the volume of the upper body into a specialisation phase on the lower body, depending on how that joint's recovered. So just because you have an injury doesn't mean you have to stop training. You have to be more sensible with the way you train. You should never try pushing through a joint injury or joint pain into itself. You should always try to find a way to work around it, and that's when your specialisation phases really can come into play. I've had it myself where I had a back injury and I was very limited on what I could do. Squatting just was not happening at all. Deadlifts, wouldn't even consider it. However, by putting focus on the upper body exercises, I was able to dramatically improve my bench press and a lot of other movements while letting the back recover by selecting exercises appropriate to work around that injury. So if you have an injury, remember it doesn't mean the end of training, it just means you have to shift the focus and potentially do a specialisation phase to bring up certain areas, which is a concept that's applied to a lot of advanced lifters, just to help bring up different muscle parts. So you can specialise in an area, focus primarily on the muscle groups that aren't affected by the injury, build them up, and when the injury comes right, start shifting the focus back to more of a balanced approach, or even the chance to bring up the lagging areas. Just remembering, you don't have to stop training when you have an injury, you just have to train a little bit smarter.